Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating and honestly kind of wild paradox in modern healthcare AI. We're totally living in a golden age of medical tech right now. From rapid clinical diagnostics to predicting your future health, artificial intelligence is literally transforming everything we know about human health. But right alongside that amazing utopian promise sits a profound structural vulnerability. It's a digital paradox that affects every single one of us. Today, we're going to dig directly into the source material to find out exactly why medical data lacks safety and why that risk is fundamentally baked into the technology itself.
So AI can now predict your health trajectory. But who is predicting the safety of your data? It's a pretty unsettling thought, isn't it? We hand over our most granular, intimate biological details to these massive digital networks because, well, we want the perks. We want the hyper-targeted treatments and the optimized care. But by doing that, we're stepping into a massive mystery regarding its fundamental vulnerability. We just assume that because the medical side of the tech is so incredibly advanced, the security side must be too. But as we're about to see, that assumption, that might literally be our biggest blind spot.
Part 1. The Setup, the Rise of AI Medicine.
Let's track how this builds up, because the rise of AI medicine is just breathtaking. We're talking about automated management systems with immense capacity, capable of boosting clinical precision and reducing inefficiencies across the board. But this sheer transformative power relies on one specific thing: massive, unfathomable amounts of data. If we look at the explosive expansion of data density, step one was the pre-1980s. We had paper-based analog archives. Your medical file was literally just a manila folder shoved in a filing cabinet somewhere. Then, late 20th century, administrative systems rolled out basic electronic health records, or EHRs. We basically digitized the filing cabinet. But consider today. We aren't just storing static text files anymore. We have advanced neural networks actively synthesizing your entire life's health metrics in these opaque digital clouds. The data didn't just get digitized, it became the raw fuel for a massive predictive engine.
And that brings us to the core tension of this whole digital shift. It's kind of like a giant tug of war. On one side, you have operational utility. This is the amazing stuff: optimizing diagnostics, streamlining care, basically saving lives with speed and accuracy. But on the exact opposite side, personal privacy, protecting your individual data autonomy. Institutional entities are grappling with these competing demands every single day. Because to get that maximum operational utility out of AI, you have to feed it a constant, massive diet of information. And balancing those constraints often means occasionally, and sometimes systematically, compromising your data autonomy.
Part 2. The Twist, the Confidentiality Crisis.
Okay, let's slow down for a second, because here is the twist, the dark side of this incredible digital leap. Underneath the glossy surface of AI-driven medicine, there's a permanent crisis hiding in plain sight. The crucial takeaway here is that despite all our profound advancements in computing, confidentiality remains a major, permanent, and unresolved vulnerability. I really want that to sink in. This isn't just some temporary glitch or a bug waiting for a patch in the next software update. It is a major, permanent vulnerability. Despite the absolute brilliance of AI, your medical data is never truly secure.
Part 3. The Mechanism, the Cybersecurity Arms Race.
So why? Why does medical data lack safety so fundamentally? Let's look at the mechanism behind this. The reason a simple one-and-done fix is technologically impossible is due to the very nature of cybersecurity itself. It's not like building a brick wall that stands forever. It is a continuous, escalating arms race. The history of digital security follows this immutable three-step pattern. Step 1 is the protective architecture. We build basic encryption, maybe some advanced decentralized ledgers, we put up a shield. But then, almost immediately, Step 2 happens, a sophisticated malicious exploit. Every new defense is systematically met with an evolved, highly sophisticated way to breach and re-identify data, which forces Step 3, the perpetual cybersecurity update. It's literally a never-ending hamster wheel. Security is not a destination you arrive at, it's just this perpetual cycle of defense and vulnerability.
Now, what's really wild is how the AI itself complicates this even more through something called black box dynamics. Deep learning models are incredibly powerful because they rely on vast pattern recognition in opaque probabilistic weights, basically hidden mathematical connections that humans can't even see. They find patterns we naturally miss, but that exact same complexity means guaranteeing absolute control over the underlying coding parameters is fundamentally unachievable. Actually, think of it this way. The very mechanism that makes AI such a powerful diagnostic engine is exactly what makes strict data control impossible. We don't fully understand exactly how the AI weighs every single piece of data, which means we can't completely lock down how that data might be exposed.
Part 4. The Security Gap, Institutional failures.
This inherent technological vulnerability leaves us with a massive structural gap. Now, you might be thinking, well, surely my hospital or healthcare system has protocols to fix this, right? But we have to recognize the reality of institutional failures. We just can't rely on top-down administrative systems to magically fix a vulnerability that's built right into the tech itself. Let's look at why these top-down models fail. First, commercial data sharing models. Institutions don't just lock your data in a vault, they frequently share it across massive commercial networks to improve their AI. Second, systemic monetization. Healthcare is astronomically expensive and data is incredibly valuable. Monetizing your data helps them offset operational budgets, but it totally erodes the illusion of absolute data safety. And third, competing demands. When an institution has to choose between an operational efficiency that saves money and a strict privacy protocol that slows things down, well, privacy usually takes the hit.
The source material makes a really stark point about this. Waiting for definitive, permanent security creates institutional and personal stagnation. If you're just sitting around, waiting for administrators or tech companies to hand you a flawless, impenetrable shield for your medical records, you are walking into a trap. Passive reliance on top-down systems just is not a viable strategy. It leaves you completely exposed to the realities of the cybersecurity arms race.
Part 5. The resolution, active adaptation.
So, where does that leave us? If the system fundamentally cannot protect you in absolute terms, what's the resolution? The answer is active adaptation. We absolutely have to shift our mindset away from just deferring to the experts and move toward conscious, individualized oversight. It's your health, your life, and your informed decision. Managing your health data safely means recognizing that data protection is an ongoing process. You can't just blindly check a box on a privacy form at the doctor's office and forget about it. Navigating algorithmic medicine requires you to actively weigh the risks and benefits of who holds your data, how it's used, and what you're willing to share. Blind faith in macro-level systems just doesn't cut it anymore. You've got to be in the driver's seat.
Which brings us to our final thought. As the source outlines so clearly, the perpetual cycle of technological defense and vulnerability means a static, flawless shield for your medical data will simply never exist. Adaptation is mandatory. So the ultimate question I want to leave you with today is this. Knowing that absolute safety is a digital paradox, how will you adapt to protect what is uniquely yours? It's a huge challenge for sure, but understanding the reality of the system is the very first step. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and stay engaged.